Hello ladies and gentlemen, this is Ralph, and in today's video blog I'm talking to Todd Smith. Todd is an American synthesizer musician who plays a mix of electro, industrial, space music and Berlin school, so stay tuned. Alright ladies and gentlemen, in today's interview, I'm talking to Todd Smith. Todd is a synthesizer musician from the United States of America, and he describes his musical style as a mix of electro, industrial, space music, and Berlin school. Hi, Todd. Thanks for doing this today.
Thank you for having me.
Sure. So I want to kick off the interview with the first question. Is there any success quote or some kind of saying motto that you live by and that has helped you on your journey as a musician?
Yeah, the one right now, definitely I would say there's always going to be someone bigger. There's always going to be someone stronger than you. There's always going to be someone faster. In the music world, that relates to somebody's always going to have bigger gear. Someone's always going to have that Dave Smith. Someone's always going to have the room full of modular that you don't have, but you can always be the hardest working guy in the room on what you do have. So.
Okay, sounds cool. So then Todd, just go ahead. Tell us a little bit about yourself, your musical background, where do you live, how you got started with synthesizers, and yeah, also what kind of music gear you're using.
Okay. Well, how I got started was back in the 90s. It was a big industrial underground wave of music. A lot of it came from Germany and so on. There was a record label called Zotha Mog that really pulled me into the electric side of music. It was kind of the harsher, darker side. But being teenage, I fell into it. And it really got me wanting my first synthesizer, which I bought a Korg N364. It was a big workstation. And I toyed on that for years until I realized that's not really what I wanted. I wanted more of what was behind you, or more individual analog pieces, not necessarily that big of a piece, but something more that couldn't do everything itself. So I started to veer towards that nature with the JP 8080 and other things like that. And then I actually kind of had a halt in my music career for a little bit because of a life situation. I jumped into a really big relationship early, invested a lot into it really early. And when it ended, I lost everything. I lost myself. I became a totally different person, a person I wouldn't even want to talk to myself today. And I sold all my gear, sold my soul. I was gone, and I went through a few various things in that lifetime, and then phased my life. And then when I pulled myself out of it, I realized how important music was to me, and that's kind of how I get to the current gear I'm at now. Is the Volcas were out right when I was stepping back into it, and they were only $150 brand new. So I jumped into those. Once I started throwing some effects on them, I felt like I was making better music than I was making with any big digital piece from back in the day. So that's kind of evolved to the sound I have now, the more electronic, old school analog-ish type sound, is because of the Volcas for sure.
I listen to a lot of your music on your channel. By the way, you just started your YouTube channel just recently. How long is it up and running? 2 months, I think, huh? Maximum.
1.5 now.
1.5 months, really. And how many? Around 20 videos are up there already. Apart from music, you are also doing tutorials. Do you want to speak a little bit about the tutorials you're...
Oh, sure. Those started because of the jams. I just got some questions on how I do specific things, and I realized that the way I approach these machines are drastically different than most people. So I started making tutorials, but at the same time, the Volcas have been out for a couple years. So there's a huge tutorial base already out there. So I really wanted to grab my specific thinking on the machine, because like I said, I'm really kind of, I go at these machines in a drastically different way than most people do. So I figured that's something that's not on YouTube yet, because my way of thinking isn't out there yet. So I'm kind of more focusing my tutorials on when people comment on things that I do and they really like it. I'll share that with them. So I mean, if you see this and you ever see anything in my jam that you want to know, throw a comment on there and I'll make a tutorial about it. That's kind of how I work. Or if I do something that I realize people are commenting a lot on that they really enjoy, I'll make a tutorial on that. Then it's really blew up. I actually had my biggest video is a tutorial, and it got 5,000 views in one night. I mean, that was
cool.
Pretty crazy.
Yeah, so to the viewers out there, so if you have a question for Todd, if you want Todd to make a particular tutorial about the Korg Volcas, get in touch with him. Todd, I want to move on to the next question. Hey, okay. What are your core values as a musician and an artist? And has there been a major incident in your life that made you really aware of your core values, which then subsequently helped you on your artistic journey?
My core values is to stay open as an artist. And what has made me change to that core value is the fact that I wasn't that way before. I was really, like a lot of people, really closed off in their views and really strong in their views. And to the point where sometimes I wouldn't let myself explore other options that were there. So being open and to what's around you, but not so open to where you change because other people want you to change. Just being completely open and to everything around you is the best thing you can do.
And what's your biggest regret as a musician? And what have you learned from it?
Stopping music. Again, like we're back to my relationship time when I kind of dropped on that. I stopped making music during that era, at least electronically. I became a traveling street musician actually, and played the drum for a little bit. But I stopped making music for a little bit, and life was completely different for me, and I didn't realize how much music really affected me. And then once now that I'm going again, I don't think I'm going to stop ever again. It's going to be full bore now.
Then Todd, how do you deal with self-doubt and self-criticism that befalls so many musicians and artists? And maybe overthinking, how you cope with it?
That is a great question. So many artists get lost in what's around them and what other artists are doing and the success other artists have and what they don't have. And don't get lost in that. That'll eat you up. I've seen people fail before they succeed. Focus on what's in front of you. Focus on what you have. Focus on the positiveness that's getting sent your way. And you keep doing that, and it'll just perpetuate. You'll have momentum, and that's, it's hard to steer something with no momentum. So you need momentum, and I think that's definitely it for sure.
And then you say also don't watch other people and procrastinate your own work.
Oh yes, for sure. I mean, just because you're not at a point that somebody else is at, some people feel less of because of that, or they stop doing the things they're doing because they're like, oh, I'll never make it there. Like and it's just, you can't get too lost on what somebody else is doing. Just focus on what's in front of you. Focus on the positive energy being sent to you. Focus on your work. I've seen people who get lost on because they don't have the gear. Like I said before, they only have this little gear, and they give up before they try because they see people with studios in the room like that. I can't compete with them, and it's like you can't think about that. Don't look at his gear and what you can't do. Look at your gear and think, what can I do?
Actually, you can do music with almost anything. If you don't have any gear, you start with your cell phone. You download an app and start doing music with that, really. So
for sure. There's free programs nowadays. I mean, even beyond electronic, music is made by sticks and skins and by people in the woods who have no cell phones. So music is a global, universal thing.
I think I mentioned it already in the last interview. The lack of gear should never, ever be an excuse for not making any music.
Oh, no. And it should make you look at yourself and make you look at your gear more if you're thinking that way, I think, honestly.
And use what you have. Okay. What was the boldest thing you have ever done?
Dropping everything and becoming a traveling street musician, as I kind of lightly traded on before. After that whole, as I said, the breakup era, I kind of had the phase where I found myself, and I wasn't doing it through the 9 to 5. I sold off all my gear. I was working the job, paying off the rent, doing the car thing, doing everything you wanted to do, but I still wasn't happy. So I kind of dropped that all, stopped paying rent, started traveling America, and became a traveling street musician. And that experience actually dropped all this shroud from me that was kind of holding me down. I wouldn't really say specifically what about that experience, but something about it, about 2 years after it, I just felt completely cleansed, and I didn't have that monkey on my back anymore, completely bring me down. And when I was happy, that's when I realized I wanted to do music again. So that jumps right back to the Volca thing. I got back into my house, I got a job, and I started getting back into the Volcas and everything like that.
Okay. Then what advice would you give to aspiring electronic musicians?
I would definitely say share your stuff. Don't just stay in a room and make music for you your whole entire life. I did that for many years. You have so many media outlets out there when it comes down to SoundCloud, when it comes down to Facebook, and even just pinning your stuff on your wall on your personal page for your social media. Just get it out there, get people seeing it, because that's the best way of creating momentum. And also it's going to make you keep doing the art, because you're going to get something coming back to you in return. So.
Okay, Todd, now I have 3 questions for you, and I would like you to answer them as quickly as possible in a short and concise way. What or whom do you think of when you hear the word success?
J.G. Thirlwell, he's a pretty unknown artist. You can definitely look him up. It's mainly because of his work style and how he stayed true to himself, but still managed to make money in the end of it. You know.
All right. Is there a music album, a movie, or even a book that you recommend on a regular basis or give away as a present?
Definitely The Fountain is the movie I would choose. It was made a few years back. It's a kind of a love tale mixed with some other weird spiritual sci-fi stuff going on. It's a great movie, great soundtrack, great movie, everything about it. Fountain, definitely watch that. You might cry though, so sorry.
I heard about it. Cool. I put it on my list. Okay, now imagine you could travel back in time, back to the future style, and you had a chance to meet the 20-year-old Todd. I know in Back on the Future, they could not see each other, but let's assume that's possible. We could do that. So you had a chance to talk to the 20-year-old Todd. What advice would you give him?
Don't get lost. Don't let anything in this life deviate you from what you want to do. My was a relationship. I've seen people, it'd be money loss. It can be various things. Then get thrown in at you in this life, and you get thrown off the path. You lose yourself, and that would be my advice. Just don't get lost. Stay true to yourself, and
Okay, cool. Is there any website or an online tool that you are using on a regular basis, for your music career, for your work, for your synthesizer work?
Oh, definitely YouTube. YouTube is where all my stuff is uploaded. I have links to other sites from there, but YouTube is definitely my #1 site.
By the way, I'm putting Todd's YouTube channel, the link to his YouTube channel below this video into the description box. What else are you using? Any other tool? Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, Snapchat?
Oh,
anything like that?
yeah, all my social media listings as of currently, I've been using Facebook, Google Plus, Twitter, About Me, Reddit. Yeah, I think that's it. I think.
Okay. I assume you have put the links to the other social media sites on your YouTube channel, right?
Yes. Oh, Pinterest too. I started Pinterest too. Yeah. Yes. I have all that linked on my Google YouTube site.
But your main focus is on YouTube.
Oh, definitely. Yes, for sure. That was just to help spread the channel, basically.
Okay, what other projects are you working on at the moment?
Well, currently, I've been working on a batch of tracks that are non-beat oriented, more soundscape, ambient-ish, no beat at all. And after I'm done with those, I have about a couple of them in the works. I want to start working on music videos for my channel to kind of expand it to be more interesting to the less techie heads, because I've had a few comments, people being like, we really like your stuff, but we don't really care for the gear. And it's like, so I really want to, even though they can just play me in the background and just play, I kind of want to have something else to pull other people in. So I'm going to start getting the music videos too.
Okay, then you just uploaded a track, I think, day before yesterday. Was it yesterday? More an ambient track.
Yes.
You know, very, very chill out ambient track. Really, I love that track. It reminded me, I wrote a comment on your YouTube channel. It reminded me of Klaus Schulze. I mean it as a compliment, really. And I would like to know now, was it just improvising, or did you prepare something? Or were you just, okay, switching on the gear and just started playing?
Yeah, most of my jams at this point, all the keys that I play are improvised. I don't really have much of an idea that I'm going to do on that. I'll have the sequences obviously laid out, and usually once I find a good combination of that, I usually just hit record, because I don't really like to think too much about my key aspect of it. I don't know why. I don't really like to get there and start to think about what I press. I like it to be just natural and me hitting what I hit. So it's a mix between improvised and preset sequences, for sure. But thank you for the amazing compliment.
Really, I really enjoyed it. You see, sometimes I listen to a lot of music on YouTube. Sometimes when I do work, you know, I just, when I'm in a certain mood, you know, sometimes I listen to 80s stuff, and I also listen to a lot of synthesizer music, and I enjoyed listening to some of your tracks, especially the slow stuff, you know, the more ambient and chill stuff. I like that.
Oh, for sure. I definitely have a few various styles on there, because I'm trying to kind of push the machines in different directions. So I have some tracks that I'm pushing the drum machine more, that end up being more kind of not what you're speaking about, more beat oriented, fast going. Then I have the ones where I'm kind of pushing the other things more, and you know, so yeah, I definitely have various styles in my jams, and I'm glad you enjoy some of them. Thank you so much, man.
Yeah, especially, you know, my favorite are the more laid back ambient stuff. Really cool, cool tracks, really. Then, Todd, what's the best way to reach you when people want to get in touch with you?
I would definitely say YouTube. I mean, if in every other site can be linked through there, for sure. YouTube is definitely the best way to get a hold of me.
Okay, so once again, I put the link to Todd's YouTube channel in the description box of this video. And Todd, yeah, well, thanks for doing this.
Oh man, great, thank you for having me. Meeting you was a pleasure, man. I've been excited about this.
Really, really. So Todd, I'm sure we talk again. You see, where during the warm-up talk, you know, we discovered so many other subjects we could talk about, but that's maybe for another show, huh?
Oh, to be continued.
Yeah, to be continued. So for today, Todd, thanks again. And I talk to you soon. Cheers. Bye.
Cheers.
All right, this is the end of today's interview. I hope you enjoyed it. I encourage you to jump over to Todd's YouTube channel and check out some of his music. I provide the link in the description box of this YouTube video. Anyway, if you are a musician yourself and you are interested to come to my channel and to be interviewed, then please go to the video Berlin School Musicians Wanted. I've put the link up here or also in the description box of this video, and write a comment and just say that you are interested, and then we hook up. If you, the viewer of my YouTube channel, can think of a question that I should ask future interviewees, then please do write a comment below this video. So, before I say goodbye, I kindly ask you to check out some of my previous videos. I've put the link over here. And if you like my work, you may consider subscribing to my YouTube channel. You find the link here below. So for today, I say goodbye. Have a good week. I see you next time. Until then, take care. Peace.